Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Chester Williams coming back with another video for Investing Dollars and Cents. And the title of today's video is called Choosing to Be Broke. Now, if I asked the majority of people out there if they would choose to be broke, the answer that they'd probably give would be no. But the way a lot of people invest would suggest otherwise. Now, when you look at people's investments, they normally take on more risk than they say they're comfortable with. As an investment professional, what your goal is to do is to make sure customers have the right amount of risk. So you often ask about their risk tolerance. And so that's going to determine what an appropriate investment is. And whenever there's a mismatch, you have to delve a bit deeper to see why that's the case. A lot of clients, customers, investors sometimes assume that if something is going up in value, it may always go up in value. And that's false. The thing about investing is that it involves risk. And you can and most likely will at some point in your investing lose money in the stock market. And so you want to make sure that you're considering that whenever you pick your investments. So I want to give you an example. Let's say that we have an investor and she's in her late 60s. She has an investment account valued at $70,000. The account is in 100% stocks and it started out at $25,000. So the bright spot and also the issue is that this lady has made money. Why would that be an issue? Because she assumes that because she's made money, what she's invested in is appropriate for her. And so let's say we ask this woman what her risk tolerance is, and she states it's right here. But her investments are up here in terms of risk. Now that's an obvious mismatch and it needs to be addressed because when you ask what you're comfortable with and then you look at what you're invested in and it's several times more aggressive than what you're comfortable with, you're taking on too much exposure there and you're limiting yourself or you're exposing yourself rather to so much risk. So let's say this lady, let's say the value of her investments fluctuates and she loses money. She doesn't have a lot of time to recover. And so that's an issue. There are some situations where this could be a good example of what to invest in. Let's say that you're a young investor, you have 30 or 40 years left in your investing years, and you're taking on this much risk with a 100% stock portfolio. If the value of your investments fluctuates, you're going to have time to recover, so it's not that big of a deal. And that lady, this represented the majority of her investments, let's say over 80%. So she would be in trouble with the fluctuation. Now, on the other hand, let's say the same woman, still in her late 60s, still has an investment account with about $70,000, but she has other investments. So she has plenty of money set aside for retirement. She has no debt. She has her home paid off, and she still makes a comfortable income. And let's say that the value of this account that's around 70 represents less than 5% of her portfolio. It may be okay to take on that amount of risk because if the value fluctuates, it's not going to affect your overall investments. But if across the board you're invested the same way, then that still may be an issue if the majority of your portfolio looks the same with being all stock. That may not be a good idea for an investor at your age. So I want to break it down mathematically with an example to see what this looks like, okay? So look at Okay, so this is what the math is going to look like for the example. Let's say that you buy shares of company XYZ and you buy 100 shares at a price of $15 a share. So that would equal $1,500 for that investment. Let's say that the stock price then goes up. And so instead of $15, it's now valued at $45. Same 100 shares, so now you have a total value of $4,500, which means you also have a $3,000 profit. Now, what do you want to do with this $3,000 profit? You want to protect it, okay? And so how do you protect that profit? You can put in place what's called a stop order. All right. Now, a stop order is meant to protect the profit or limit loss. So let's say that the same stock price, which is going up to $45, begins to go down. You're going to lose this $3,000 profit. So it could go to say $2,000, $1,000. You could break even, or you could begin to lose money. Which this is a very bad case if this happens. So you want to protect that. So like I said, the stop order will protect some of this profit or limit the loss that you do face if the stock price does turn against you. And so that's always going to be a good idea. There are a couple different stop orders that you can place to do that as well. And so going back to the example, let's say what you can do to protect yourself. You have a couple options here. So you can talk to your investment professional and they can help you get a plan in place to determine what's appropriate for you. Picking something in terms of an investment that's gone up in value and you haven't lost money and it's not a good idea. It's not a sound plan over the long run. So your investment professional can help you determine what's an appropriate investment for you, given what your risk tolerance is, maybe help you diversify as well. At the very least, you can put one of those protective orders like a stop order in so that you can protect your profit or limit your loss. And if you need help doing that, by all means, your investment professional can help you with that by looking at your account to make sure that you're limiting the risk that you're taking on. Thank you.